Hello. The one thing I want to point out is that all this propaganda and brainwashing and stuff like that, uh, indoctrination, it's not American based. I mean, America is the epic center of it all, but the world is just as much a part of it. It's a worldwide thing. Russia, Russia does it, China does it, um, Bolivia does it. I mean, everybody does it. And when you have masses of people and you're trying to control masses of people to do what you think you want them to do, indoctrination and brainwashing is the way to get that. And the Asian countries, Korea, this North Korea is the epic center of brainwashing and indoctrination, um, and fear is the main culprit between all of that. Fear of loss of what you have. What's in your pocket won't be in your pocket anymore, whether it be money or digital or uh, some jewelry, whatever you want to that has value. And what that value is indoctrination. People pay $5,000 for a little rock and think nothing of it. And think they got a deal. It's funny. They think they got a deal. You know, it's like you just paid $5,000 for a little rock. It's like whatever, bro. Whatever floats your boat. And that's the culmination of indoctrination and brainwashing and manipulation. And it's just people are whole communities and towns are um, treated like horrible, horrible slaves to get those little rocks out of the ground. And it's appalling what they do. And it's not just little rocks; it's copper, it's gold, it's all different things. And what they do to get that is appalling. How they treat people. Uh, and look, Trump was going to start a war with Greenland or Norway because you know Greenland has minerals, and Trump wants them for nothing. Of course, he's got to mine them, but he doesn't want to pay for the land. He doesn't want to take care of the land. He just wants to rape it for everything it's worth. And again, it's not Trump. Trump's just a puppet. It's the American machine behind it. The Rothschilds. It's the Astors and the Vanderbilts that want to rape it so they can increase their trillions and trillions of dollars that they have in their bank accounts that you'll never know about. And for the most part, they don't know about either. Uh, you know, but like I said, you can't count trillions of dollars. It's impossible. So you can write the number on a piece of paper, but you can't quantify it in reality, uh, like a dollar for a cigarette kind of thing. But I don't know. I think we live in a bubble. Like everything that happens here doesn't happen in the rest of the world, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. You know. Oh, sure that Germany handles freedom of speech much differently than we do. They don't have freedom of speech. If you write something about Nazis, where I guess even say the word Nazi in Germany, you can have a SWAT team at your door if you said it on social media or something. And I've been on Zoom calls with people from different countries, and I would say something, and they'd be like, "Whoa, whoa, don't say that! Don't say that! You can't say that!" I'm like, "I'm in America, buddy. I can say anything I want." And that's not true, but that's what I said. You know, it's not true anywhere. I bet if you went to Antarctica, you couldn't say anything you want there either. Uh, but it's just that's the semblance of normalcy is that we curtail what we say and to protect the feelings of the people around us. Even though what we say, like what I say on these videos, is very important. I think it's highly important what I say on these videos. And I think there's a huge uh, amount of people that don't want you to hear what I say on these videos because they are afraid I'm going to wake you up. And I think in the grand scale, I think people are waking up, and I think that's why my last video, where um, no coincidence that the Rothschilds and the billionaires and the deep state and the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, Masons, whatever you want to call them, are losing control, and it's shown by what they're doing. Um, you know, uh, and you have high interest rates for one reason only. They want to make it harder for you to buy a house. They want to make it harder for you to buy a car. They make it harder for you to go to work and make a lot of money and pay all that money you make goes out the door in the form of interest, which interest is really like air. It's nothing. It's hypothetical. It's a Jew construct. The Jews created interest, and they make trillions off of interest. The Jews, and when the Germans canceled interest uh, before World War II, the Jews didn't like it, and the Germans became the most powerful country because they canceled interest. So it's just it's a it's a theory that's wrapped up in bullshit, but it's such a norm for the society, it's a norm for our government, norm for the banks. The banks love interest. The banks would have nothing without interest, and they give you no interest. Go get a savings account, and they'll give you 1%. you know, and it's all crap. It's just so they can sell their treasury bonds, which are at 6 or 8%, and 8%. But they're just selling higher bonds, and the treasury bonds are more attractive when you're getting 1% on a savings account in your bank account. And it's all a manipulation. It's a scam on you and your money. The idea, the function of money is just a scam. You know, we don't need money. Really, I'm of the belief that money is useless. Money is just a way of separating the people and saying you could do this and you can't, and this is why you can and this is why you can't. And money does all that. And they think, well, if nobody needed money, then everybody would go to the Bahamas, and the Bahamas would be a disaster because all the people that would go there. And and I see that side of the picture, but you know, they want you to work. They want you to work, and basically why they want you to work is because when you're at work for 8 hours, you're not at the Bahamas. You're not eating. Uh, you're working. You're producing, supposedly producing something that's making money for a richer person, and they give you a little cut. And the whole economic system is designed to keep the rich rich and the poor poor, and that has to change. And it won't change until you change it.